Hello everybody, Scot-sword here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. I'm back from my summer hiatus. I know it might not seem like I've been away anywhere because there's been regular content coming out on the channel each week, but those of you who are regular viewers will know that I've been away for the last couple of months and all those recordings were banked up in advance. So I'm back. It's good to be back and to bring you some more up-to-date recordings rather than things which are months old, and when people start commenting about what's happened, I'm like, I don't remember what happened in this game. So it's great to be back. I'm sorry if I look a little bit tired. I was traveling all of yesterday, so I'm still feeling the effects of it, but I wanted to bring this very quick video to you, especially since next week the League of Dracula, which is our Fury of Dracula Digital Edition World Championship, is starting, and I wanted to just bring a little quick video just to tell you that it's happening, to tell you, who's going to be recording matches and where you can see all these recordings, plus just show you the tournament structure and the names of the players who are participating this year. So yeah, I've got my cup of tea with me, so I might be sipping on it throughout. Firstly, just before I start, I don't normally ask for subscribers, especially in Fury of Dracula videos. I don't ask for subscribers very much, but I've noticed that I've had quite a lot of new subscribers joining recently, and it's quite realistic that I'll get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So if but obviously I need to get those subscribers. So if you're watching this and you're interested in Fury of Dracula gameplay and tips and tricks videos and tournament gameplay and all that sort of thing, and you're not subscribed yet, maybe you could give me a little subscribe. That'd be really cool. I'm doing this as a hobby, by the way. There's no monetary benefit. It's just it's just nice to see that the channel is keeps growing and that there are more views on the videos and more engagement. So I'll be here for hopefully the foreseeable future, even I've got lots of stuff going on in real life. So yeah, thanks for that if you do subscribe, or hit like or comment or whatever you want to do. Anyway, right, the League of Dracula. I'll try and make this as interesting as possible. I normally do nice PowerPoints for you, but today I've been very tired, so I've just got one slide for you, basically. But basically, yeah, Fury of Dracula Digital Edition World Championship. So we've got 20 competitors this year, which is really great to see. We had 20 last year. And now seeing those numbers again, we actually had 22 this year. We've got a couple of reserves in place, which is great. I say World Championship, it's a little bit skewed towards America. We got 13 players from the US, 6 from Europe, but all 6 of them are from different countries, which is great to see. And we've actually got one participant from the Philippines as well, which is really great to see. So if there's anybody out there watching whose country is not represented, please join our community. There'll be a link in the description, and you can participate in the next League of Dracula if you want to. So yeah, maybe in my commentary, when I'm spectating any of these matches, there might be a little bit of bias towards the Europeans just because we're a little bit outnumbered by the Americans in this one. But whoever the best player is and they deserve to win, that's absolutely fine by me. So yeah, that's the other thing. I'm not competing this year. I would love to. I would love to have defended my title, but just too many things going on in real life, and I'm not going to have the time to dedicate to it. I am going to try and cast as many games as possible, but I just can't. I can't commit to playing games, unfortunately. I will have free time, but it's going to be too spontaneous for the sort of organization that's required for the League of Dracula. So that's why I'm not competing this year. But it means I can sit on the sidelines and just enjoy it as a spectator and as a commentator, just as an observer, basically. But maybe we could do an exhibition match between me and the winner, if they're up for it. But yeah, there'll be a new world champion, which is really cool. Yeah, so we've got 20 competitors, and actually we've got a really nice split this year between people who have been in previous tournaments, but they've returned, regardless of how successful they were. And we've got quite a lot of newcomers. We've got 9 new tournament participants. There are some who've been in the community playing friendly matches with us for a while. You'll recognize some of the names based upon those who are featured in my videos. But they're now participating in a tournament for the first time, which is really great to see. So thank you to everybody. If you're a newcomer or an experienced tournament player, thank you very much for playing. It's really great to see, and there's a lot of enthusiasm now. The fact that it's now been starting, and today I was working on all the final documents for it, and there's a lot of enthusiasm, so it's really great to see. So basically, if any of you know the competition from last year, there's a couple of adjustments. So the way it works is it is literally like a league system, where you've got the first stage where the players are split into groups, and then the best performing players progress to the next stage. Last year we had 2 stages where we had 3 groups of 7, and then from there the top 2 players from each group plus the 2 best third place players progress to the final league of 8, from which I won it. This year we're doing it slightly differently. In the first stage, the groups are going to be smaller, and there's a couple of reasons why we're doing this. Firstly, because last year, even though it worked out really well and there's a lot of positive feedback, the first stage was very long. It was 12 matches for each player, and because it was only the top 3 places in each group that were viable for qualification into the final league, towards the end, some of the matches between the players which were lower down were a little bit meaningless, and towards the end, because of scheduling and things, they weren't played. I want to try and make all the games as meaningful as possible. And people can then devote more energy to each game. So that's the plan. Also, just makes it shorter to play. Instead of being 6 weeks, it's only going to be 5 weeks. So it just makes it a little bit shorter, which is really nice. The other thing too is because, as I said before, if you're a player towards the bottom of the league in the first stage in your group, it looks very hard to qualify if it's the top 3 players from each group and there's 7 of you. The odds are, especially if you're a less experienced player, the odds of you progressing are not very likely. There are some who definitely impressed and put a very good showing in the competition we did last year, but I realised how it's quite difficult. This year, because there's only going to be 5 in each group, and it's the top 3 that progress later into the competition, it's only the 4th and 5th places that are eliminated, it makes it look, easier to obtain, especially for the newcomers, the newcomers in the competition. So hopefully that'll be the case, and the fact there'll be fewer games, but they'll be more meaningful, it'll just, improve the whole experience. The other thing we've done in this competition this year is, instead of being the final league being 8 players, it's actually 6. So the players who can get into that final league to compete for the overall, world champion sort of title is reduced. So immediately that will create a lot more jeopardy and a little bit of drama and more tension between the top performing players, that there are fewer places available in the first place. And because of that, that means that the final league is shorter, there'll be fewer matches in there as well. So with the time that we freed up, because the first stage is shorter and the final league is shorter, we've actually got a stage, in the middle. And this is going to be sort of like a playoff round. So the way it's going to work now, there's another benefit, hopefully, to this system, we'll see how it works, is in the league last year, it didn't matter if you finished 1st or 2nd in your group, you were through to the final league anyway. It was only those then 3rd place where it could, potentially matter. This year, there's a difference. Only the top performing players in the 4 first stage groups get through. Is that right? First stage groups, there you go, yeah. Only the best performing player automatically qualify for the final league. So if you want to make sure that you get into the final league, you have to become top of your group. And that's quite a tall order when there's a lot of good players around. If you've got a group with, 5 good players in it, getting first place is going to be difficult. So that's going to create a lot of excitement for all the matches. The players who finish 2nd and 3rd in the group go into the 2nd stage. So if you finish 1st, you just bypass the 2nd stage completely. So that's a benefit, an advantage for finishing 1st place. If you finish 2nd or 3rd, then you go into the 2nd stage. All the 2nd and 3rd place players get mixed up together and distributed into 2 groups of 4, and they all play amongst each other. And from that, the top performing player of each group goes into the final league. So that's how it's going to work. So there's going to be a lot of jeopardy. There's going to be, especially as you start seeing how the first stage is going to, as the results start forming, you're going to start thinking about, if I finish 2nd, who am I going to face in the 2nd stage? But then that might change, and it's going to be hopefully very interesting to see. So hopefully with this increased sort of tension and jeopardy and things, it will just improve the quality of the tournament overall. When people know that there's more riding on the games than just, I only have to get into the top 2, so if I finish 2nd, doesn't really matter. No, there's key advantages for finishing 1st or 2nd or 3rd. So I can quickly show you now is the names of our brave competitors. Here we are. Hopefully the font is such that you can read them. I'll explain the colour scheme. So they're split into the 4 groups for the first stage. If the names are in black, These are people who are previous tournament participants who either made it into the final league of the League of Dracula last year, or they're in the podium positions of the spring competition where it was an American league and a European league. So you'll notice immediately that there's 7 of them. So immediately, right off the bat, if we, I'm not a betting man and a lot can happen, but if we make the assumption that these are the 7 players who are going to be contesting, the top places in the group, given their experience and the skill level they've demonstrated previously, one of them is not going to make it into the final league because there's only 6 places available. So immediately that's very interesting. The players in white, these are players who have been in competitions before, but they haven't met the criteria that I said previously. But that does not mean they're bad players. Quite the opposite. I think there's a lot of quality on show, and I think just naturally the quality of gameplay in the community is just only increasing. So yeah, this is very, very interesting. And then all the players in yellow are the newcomers, the ones who haven't participated in tournaments before. Some are very regular players in our community playing friendly games. Others have just joined. So there's going to be a whole mixture, and there's a lot of them that I don't know. So I can't comment about, where they might finish in the group. But then that's very interesting because, even the experienced players, I'm looking at the ones, in black and in white, some of them play a lot in the community. Some have, since the last tournament, have sort of, taken a step back and have had a break and have played other games. But that means then they've probably not seen these newer members either. So there's going to be a lot of uncertainty going on about tactics and strategies and all that sort of things. It's going to be really cool to see. I'm not going to make predictions about who's going to win because I think it's just, there's just too much uncertainty right now. We don't know who's in the final league. It all depends on the positions they finish up in. As the group tables will develop, you might start seeing, players who are, making a real impact, or others who are maybe sort of struggling in their group. It just depends. I know personally, if I was playing, there are probably 2 players in here that I have a lot of experience playing against that I would not want to be up against. And if I was put in their group, I'd be really worried about losing matches against them. But just because that's my opinion of those players, it might be different to other players. There'll be maybe other players that, that are feared more in the community. It just depends. And as I said, there are new players who I've heard a lot of good things about, but I don't know much about them. So who knows what's going to happen. It's going to be very, very interesting. The one prediction I am going to make, though, and I had this prediction before I did the draw. The way I did the draw was that, the players in each group, the black and the white and the yellow groups here, they were distributed evenly across, or as evenly as possible across the 4 groups. But it was done randomly. So I didn't specifically put Spencer and Randib together, for example. It was just the way the draw was done. It was all done at random. The one prediction I did have before, and now seeing the groups, I probably stick by that, is in the final league of 6 players, I think there is going to be somebody in that final league of 6 who is not from the group of players whose names are in black. I think there's going to be somebody from, the group of players that have their names in white or yellow who are going to get into the final league. I don't know who, and I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2 or 3, but I think there's going to be at least 1. I think there's going to be a lot of shocks going on here. I think the match is going to be really close. It's going to be very, very interesting. But that's my only prediction. I think there's going to be at least 1 player not from the group of names their names in black who are going to be in the final league. There's going to be a new name in there. I think it's going to be really cool. The other thing I'm really looking forward to, just in general, is there's the way the draw has just happened naturally. There's some rivalries, rivalries that we've had in previous leagues are going to resurface again. I'm already looking, for example, in Group A, Spencer and Randib. They were both in my group in the first stage of the League of Dracula last year. Both of them didn't qualify for the final league in the end. Randib came very, very close. Randib finished 3rd in the group, but only didn't make it into the final league based upon the IDS. It's like a point system that we use to break ties, basically. But then since then, both of them have improved a lot. I mean, Randib came 3rd in the American League in the spring, and Spencer, even though he's American, was competing in the European League. And I think out of let me see if I got this right. Out of 16 games, Spence I think won 13 in the European League, which is ridiculous. He's become a very well-rounded player now. So yeah, that is going to be very interesting to see. I think in the previous league, Randiv, in the League of Dracula last year, Randiv won both of their matches. It'll be really interesting now to see, as they both have improved since then, how that's going to, all pan out. I'm looking at Burke Marley in Group A. I remember one of my favorite games from the spring competitions that we did earlier this year. Burke Marley almost beat Mr. Green, and it was just the most topsy-turvy game I've ever seen. Burke Marley has been around quite a long time in this game, has a lot of experience, and can definitely pull off a shock or two. Beat Roscoe as well in the League of Dracula last year as well. So anything could happen. It's going to be very, very interesting. Captain Gyro, those of you who are regular members of regular viewers of my channel will know Captain Gyro. We've had some really funny moments, so great to see him competing. And then the last member there of Group A, I don't know how, sorry, butchering for pronunciation, Rem Talon. I don't know anything about them, which is really cool. It's really good to see these newer players. I remember in last year's league, there was an unknown player called Bugs B, who just appeared and they literally joined Discord just to play in the competition, and they took it by storm, and they finished, I think, was it second in their group, and then in the final league they were in third place for most of it. So anything can happen in this. It's going to be really cool. Group B, I'm looking, Pirate Joe and Pizza Wizard have played quite a lot of games against each other. They were in the final league of the League of Dracula last year. They were in the American League in the spring. Pizza Wizard is the reigning American champion. So, a little bit of pressure on him maybe for that. But actually, I was looking at the stats, and Pirate Joe and Pizza Wizard are currently 2-all in their matches in tournaments. Strangely, in the League of Dracula 2022, both of them won the Dracula game. But then in the American League, it was the Hunter who always won. So it's going to be very interesting. And also, looking there, the player in white, Ariel B, they were in the same group as Pizza Wizard in the League of Dracula last year. I'm having a look here. I can't remember, was it? Pizza Wizard won those 2-0, but they were very, very close. Both of the matches very close. So, again, so that's 2 rivalries that Pizza Wizard's got. Rivalries. I'm making it sound more dramatic than it actually is. 2 players that Pizza Wizard played against before in tournaments, and they just happen to be in the same group. That's really cool. Group C, obviously, if you're looking at it, Mr. Green's the only one in there who has, had a lot of success in tournaments up to this point. But that might not mean that the group is, going to be easy. I've heard a lot of good things about Edward Scissorhands. I haven't watched them play, but I've heard very good things about Edward. JB Philly has beaten me before. I don't think it was recorded on the channel, but I do remember that JB Philly beat me once. Fangs of Fire is gaining more experience because of being in the American League in the spring. I don't know anything about Reckoner. That's another new player who I don't know much about. But who knows? Again, there's a lot of uncertainty with this. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how all that pans out. And then maybe there's going to be a little bit more pressure on Mr. Green. The fact that, as the experienced player with the previous success, he should be progressing to the final league, but maybe it might not end up that way. We'll have to see. I was going to say, in Group B, I only skipped over Humperdinck and Met King, because again, like some of the others, I don't know much about them. I think I've played Humperdinck maybe once. I don't think I've played against Met King. So yeah, I don't know how they're going to do. It's going to be very interesting. And then in Group D, out of all the groups, I think this is the one that I'm probably most looking forward to seeing. I think all the groups are difficult. There's a lot of tricky matches in there. A lot of close competition. Well, hopefully there'll be a lot of close competition between everybody. But Group D was the one when I looked at it, and just the way it all came out, I was like, wow, that's really close. I don't know who's going to win this group. This group is just, Quincy Morris, he's, the original YouTuber for Fury of Dracula, so very experienced, very, very good hunter player. All the stuff that I talk about on my channel, most of it came from him. Let's be honest. So, very experienced. Werecraft is a player that I, have a lot of, respect for. We were really, close in the League of Dracula 2022. It all came down to IDS, which was what separated the two of us in the end. Andra, you'll know if you're a regular viewer on the channel, Andra hasn't featured that much, but Andra's caused problems for me in the past. In friendly games, he's beaten me. There's a game where Roscoe and I played together against Andra, and he beat us. Andra beat Spencer in the European League, and that was probably one of the results that cost Spencer the overall title. So Andra is a player you got to fear. It's definitely not one you can underestimate. I'm going to butcher pronunciation of this. I was practicing it beforehand and now I've forgotten it. Kazik? That's what I'm going with. That's a player who, has featured on the channel recently, has been practicing a lot. Beat me last night, albeit I was very, very tired, but still, very, as sound of it, very competent player, has been trying lots of things out. I think quite primarily sort of a Dracula player, but now I think he's been practicing quite a lot of hunters. It'll be very interesting to see, the balance there in terms of, the same with all the players. Are they going to be winning with one faction, or is it going to be split between the two? We'll have to see. And then the last one there, Trayman, there's another one that I don't really know much about, but if I remember rightly, I think Trayman was telling me personally, I think Warecraft was saying it too, that they're quite experienced with the physical board game. And that's going to be very interesting to see someone like that has a lot of experience with the physical game, how it transfers over to digital. The fact that we've got, within our digital community, there's a meta of how we play. There are some rules differences between the physical version and the digital edition. So that's going to be very interesting. So yeah, I don't know who's going to win any of the groups. Let's be honest. Anything can happen. But yeah, out of all of Group D in particular, it looks very, very spicy indeed. So yeah, that's going to be really cool. And see how it all pans out. And so what's going to happen is on the channel, I'm going to make a dedicated playlist that this video that you're watching now is going to go into. And me and all the other content creators who are going to be recording their matches are going to hopefully going to put their matches into there. So just to let you know in advance, the ones who are going to be recording will be me, if I can spectate any. Hopefully Quincy will be recording some of his matches at least. Andra, I think, records some. Kazik might do it. Matt King, I think, has recording gear. Somebody else? I think that's it for now. Yeah, so hopefully they can record as much as possible, but obviously I realise playing tournament games is very stressful enough as it is, let alone having to talk into a camera, or not even talking to a camera, but the fact you're recording anyway, if there's no commentary. I'm going to try and spectate as many matches as I can, and hopefully try and feature everybody at least once. I'll maybe try and get some co-commentators alongside me too. It'd be really cool. So yeah, keep an eye out on the channel. There'll be lots going on. If these other, other players are recording and you're not subscribed to them, then go and check out their channel, subscribe to them. We can all build our community together and all learn from each other. It's gonna be really cool. And I hadn't really thought about how I'm gonna end this video. I'm just really excited, basically. I'm just really excited. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be really great, and just to see, I'll be like a little kid at Christmas waiting for the results to come out, because it's not me who takes care of all inputting the results and updating all the group tables, and my collaborator, Peter Seatley, who does it. So I don't know the results. I can go and check, but I try to be good and not check the results. So waiting on Sunday evening, waiting for all the results to come out. If you're interested, I don't know if I'll do it every week, but maybe every couple of weeks I can do a little update video just explaining to you, sort of some of the key results and what's happening with the group tables if you're interested in that. But anyway, I'm going to stop the video now because I can't think of anything else to say. But I'm just really excited about it. I hope you are too. And there's going to be lots of great matches on the channel, hopefully. And subscribe for more if you're interested. And I shall see you in the next video very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.